Welcome, everybody, to Too Legit to Crit, a tabletop role-playing podcast hosted by the human equivalent of Thaco.
Oh, your intros are always so good.
Have you ever had any experience with Thaco?
No, but I've had experience with us, so I assume they're bad.
I don't know. Thaco has always kind of been told to me like this cautionary tale of, oh, you weren't around in the days of Thaco. I used to walk 6 miles to school.
Uphill, both ways.
Snow, yeah. And we used to try and hit armor class 0. But I've never actually had the pleasure or displeasure, as the case may be.
Oh, yeah. Good old tales of yesteryear.
Yeah, so and if anybody wants to write in and tell us all about the wonders of Thaco,
Please do.
please do. They have explained it to me multiple times. And each and every time I've gone, yeah, I'm not going to remember this.
Yeah, but I feel like that's most things that most people explain to you, because you're just like, if it's important, it'll stick.
That is my philosophy.
Exactly.
You know, if it's important, it'll stick.
Yeah, and very few things do.
Exactly. Very, very few things. Except some random nugget of knowledge that I manage to pull out of my arse every now and again.
Yeah, you're like, oh, did you know?
And then people think I'm intelligent because of it. It's pure dumb luck.
Yeah.
You happen to be mentioning something that I'm a bit of a savant on.
It's the random fact wizardry, is what I like to call it.
Yeah, and for the most time, I just stay quiet in social situations.
Ugh.
So anyway, my name is John Santana.
Mm-hmm. That's true, it is. I've checked. And I'm still Justin.
I've also checked.
Yeah, that's true, he has. So yeah, that hasn't changed, and there's no plans to change that in the near future.
I think you
you'll all
should.
be pleased to know. See, no, I like my name. It's done me well.
You should.
It served me well for 35 years, right?
I don't know, just a little change every now and again. You know, I'm bored of this now. Let's call myself Hunter for a bit.
Well, and then the following week, now I'm going to be Gatherer.
Oh yeah, there you go. You can make it thematic.
Oh, change my profession every other week as well while I'm at it, yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit harder to do because you got to rely on other people. But
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Getting people to call you different shit. I think I'm gonna call myself Mordecai.
I'll just start insisting everyone calls you Lord Admiral.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
Oh, it's funny because I know you will.
I like the fact that someone at work calls me the Dark One.
I mean, it's an accurate description.
It is quite accurate.
It's a very accurate description.
They've then shortened it to DJ, and it's like, yeah, I'll take that as well.
Oh.
So, what have you been up to? Have you been up to much this week? Oh, but no, before we carry on, Justin, my good friend, happy Father's Day.
Right back at you.
Thank you very much. Did you have a good one with the...
I did, actually. I did. It was really good. I picked her up nice and early. It's now my week with her, so I picked her up yesterday. We went to football because she plays football on a Sunday morning. And then we went to my parents' house where I made a nice breakfast for everyone. And then we just spent a day chilling with some family friends. It was really, really nice.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. What about yourself? Did you have a lovely one?
I did, yeah. I went round to spend time with the kids yesterday. We just had a lovely time. Out in the garden while the weather held up.
Yes, started pissing it down halfway through, didn't it?
Then had to have an argument with my daughter and explain to her, no, when it's raining, you've got to come out the pool.
I'm gonna have to agree with the kid on this one because you're already wet.
No, I do agree with that, and I do appreciate the logic. But the slight problem was the forecast said thunderstorm.
Ah, right. Okay, I'll give you that one. Yeah, that's different.
In which case,
that's different. Yeah.
There is a slight mitigating factor.
I'll give you that one.
We don't. Honestly, I'd rather my daughter not get fried.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point, and that's good parenting. That's like job one. Don't let them die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's like that primary goal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, fair. Can't argue that one. Cannot argue that one.
Exactly. So, but she managed to come in without too much fuss.
That's fine.
So, but anyway, other than that, what have you been up to?
Sleeping.
Okay.
I've been so shattered from work. I've had a very, very busy week at work, so I've been... The other day, I closed my laptop from work, turned on the TV, and woke up the next morning.
Yeah, that happens.
I don't remember anything in between. I remember closing my laptop, turning on my TV, pressing something on Netflix. I can't even remember what I turned on to watch. And then I lay down to watch it. And then the next thing I knew, it was 6 o'clock the next morning.
Yeah, I know that feeling well.
So yeah, that's what I've been doing. What about yourself? What have you been keeping up to?
I've been actually quite busy. The new arc of my homebrew game has started, the casino heist.
Yeah.
I have heavily borrowed from Blades in the Dark.
Okay.
In the sense that I basically fast forwarded a week, and everything the players are doing to prepare for this heist is done in the form of flashbacks.
Ah, yes. I love that.
So they have time as a limited resource.
Yeah.
So they're going to do something. Okay, that's going to take you 1 day to do. You've got 7 days.
Yeah, I love that. That's a really cool mechanic.
And like true Blades in the Dark fashion, what I'm going to do is, once they've established like the premise of the heist and how they're going to go about doing things, any time left over, they will be able to call upon whenever they need it.
Yeah.
So they're in the middle of the heist, and I don't know, they encounter some guards. It's like, okay, can I flash back to see if we would have planned to distract them? And obviously there'll be dice rolls involved. It's not going to be a straightforward yes or no. And if they succeed, then that thing happens.
Yeah. See, the way I see that working, sort of like in a cinematic way, is like in like the Ocean's films, when it's cutting to like when they're going through like they talk through the plan. As they're talking through the plan, like the heist is actually happening. Like we go through the doors at this time, and then it cuts to like them actually walking through the doors. Like that's how I see that kind of happening.
Yeah, and a series that kind of played on that quite a bit was I don't know if you ever watched it, and if you haven't, I recommend it. It's a ton of fun. It's called Leverage.
I've not watched that.
It's a modern day Robin Hood sort of story where criminals join together to kind of take down bigger criminals and all that.
The best kind of film, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And one of the staples is that it will seem like whatever heist they've planned hasn't worked.
Yeah.
But then you'll see the flashbacks, and you'll see little scenes that happened that you actually saw, quote unquote, in real time.
Yeah.
But with a lot more context.
Right.
And you see, oh, so that wasn't just a throwaway comment.
That was part of the plan.
That was all part of the plan. And I always kind of really, really enjoyed that. So I think, I think it's going to work out pretty well. So that's been one thing that I've been doing. Then, during this whole time, ever since my players in the homebrew campaign got to around 12 or 13, I started looking into doing a homebrew world.
Ooh, interesting.
But
a lot of work.
it is a lot of work, and to kind of mold the Pathfinder 2nd Edition mechanics into it, because there is a lot that's kind of tied to the lore.
Yeah.
I would have to do even more work. So I got the Cypher system and started working using that as the framework to build this world.
Yeah.
And it went stagnant for a bit. You know, where I've got the first part, or the first sort of mini campaign sort of planned out and what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I kind of slowed down because I just couldn't figure out certain things. And it was the other day, I'd actually gone for a shower. And mid-shower, I had this fucking eureka moment. So I've spent the better part of the last 5 days just hammering away at the keyboard. And to be fair, if I really wanted to, I could start this game next week.
Ooh, interesting.
So yeah, it's actually taken off leaps and bounds. So I'm lucky to actually get something, and maybe I might even wing it to you to kind of peruse.
I would quite like that, yeah.
And if you're able to kind of poke holes in anything, it'll be greatly appreciated.
You know, if anybody can poke holes in anything, I'm your man.
You are the hole poker.
I am the hole poker. That is
the
the common theory around the water pipe. Water pipe? Water hole? Fucking hell. I'm tired. Leave me alone.
The hole that you poke?
Yep, it was a water oh my god, my brain. Water cooler. That's the word I was looking for. The water cooler. Fuck me, I'm so tired, dude. You don't understand.
Hole poker is the name I used to dance under.
Oh, dude, I am so unbelievably tired.
I'll try not to throw too many things your way tonight, just to kind of give you a bit of a break.
I'm going to apologise to all the listeners out there. I'm not going to make much sense this week. I'm going to sound like I'm high on something. I'm not. I'm just tired.
I do feel like this is going to make a good episode. You know, you're just going to come out with some random bullshit. And I think it's going to be comedy gold.
Hopefully. It's going to be comedy gold, or it's going to be cut.
Yeah, that's basically my MO as editor of this show.
If I'm not funny, it's cut.
I mean, yeah, basically, our shows are basically 4-hour-long recordings.
Yeah.
And most of my jokes are shit, so I just kind of
See, I can't even carry that on. That's not true. We actually pretty much knock these out pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean the editing side of things,
What's this wee shit? You do all of that.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, I don't really cut that much out. Some episodes, I think for the most part, I don't cut anything out at all. Even things that sometimes I think I should have cut that out, but I'm gonna leave it.
You only live once.
Exactly. So the other thing I've been doing is kind of podcast related, where I've been kind of improving the back end of this thing.
Or been mind-numbingly blown away by the viewership we've received as of late.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah.
Surprising.
It was. So thank you again to everybody out there.
Yeah, thank you guys.
That was mental.
It's so appreciated.
Yeah.
You know, and we appreciate every single listener, and every, like, when we get a spike like the one we had last week, it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. It kind of takes us back a few steps. We're like, wait, people are listening?
And I think it does kind of play on my lack of self-worth when I start looking at Acast going, yeah, there's been a mistake. So,
we're ringing them going, guys, your website's broken? It says people are listening.
But we know they're not.
That can't be right. That can't be right.
They can't be listening. It's just not possible. But yeah, thank you ever so much. That actually, I won't say inspired me to kind of do everything, kind of redo the organization.
Our back end. Yeah.
Yeah, but it pissed me off that I didn't think of this sooner, because...
It was quite funny when he messaged me. Like... It's like, dude, how did we not think of this? Because both of us are quite techie people. And both of us just completely overlooked the tech solution to what we've been trying to do.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's worse for me, because the solution that we found is what I was using as a fucking campaign manager for the better part of 2 years.
Yeah, but
until I moved to Obsidian.
Exactly, yeah. Then you moved to Obsidian and then you forgot about it.
And I tried. We did a OneDrive thing.
Yeah.
Where I'd open a Word document and we'd go from there.
And that didn't really work because we'd get lost in the document at times.
And it was all in Spanish.
And yeah, it was all in Spanish, which was very confusing for me.
And then I tried doing it on Obsidian, but I didn't want to fork out for Obsidian Publish. Mm-hmm. And then I just sat and just had a look at the apps I've got on the iPad. I went, oh, for fuck's sake. And yeah, it is much better. I've got everything. It is.
It's all just there.
It's there. Everything we need to talk about.
Yeah. And
I've also, I don't know if you've checked it, but I've also updated the forms.
I have not checked the form.
Because Google Forms is a big pile of wank.
Well, yeah, we know that.
So I
is that the Jot form?
Jot form.
Yeah.
And it basically pulled everything from Google Forms and presented it very nicely.
That's lovely.
So it's easier to find shit. It's really cool. So yeah, we're not sponsored by Jotform in any way, shape or form.
However, if they'd like to, get in touch.
Jotform. Yeah, come on, man.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug, yeah. Jotform, the proud sponsors of two knobheads talking about role-playing games.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I don't think they'd use those precise words, but...
We would.
Oh, 100%.
And that's precisely why they won't.
If only knobhead was the worst thing I said on this show.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm actually surprised that our editing is quite low compared to some of the shit I normally come out with.
I think it's because, like, we have quite tame conversations when we're not drinking.
Yeah, and considering I haven't done that in over a year.
And I haven't done it in approaching 7 months now.
Yeah, things change. Your priorities change when you're not drunk.
Yeah. We don't try and be as offensive as possible.
No, there is...
I don't like it.
The consciousness kicks in and kind of goes, yeah, dude, maybe you should turn it down a tiny bit.
Just dial it back like a scooch.
Just a scooch.
Just a tiny little, microscopic step backwards.
But yeah, so speaking of offensive,
yeah,
have you seen that the new TSR has filed for bankruptcy?
Oh no.
Yeah, so for those of you who aren't very aware, and I did genuinely have to look it up. There was a kind of a rebirth of TSR, which has been dubbed new TSR by the masses.
We're such a creative bunch.
We are indeed.
Like, TSR revamped themselves. What should we call it? New TSR?
New TSR, yeah, that's it.
As opposed to old TSR?
Yeah, so apparently they were in legal action with Wizards.
Right.
And in this instance, Justin, Wizards weren't the cunts.
Wait, what?
No, you weren't.
Can you say that again, closer to the microphone, please?
I'd rather not.
Please? Pretty please.
I feel like I have to shower now.
I'm going to get t-shirts made with that on it. This time.
No, because apparently this company, this TSR, which, let me just get, was headed by a bloke called Justin Lanassa.
Not me.
And not you. You are not Lanassa.
I am not.
And Gary Gygax's son, Ernie Gygax.
Right.
They wanted to release something called Star Frontiers.
Okay.
And that caused a licensing dispute with Wizards of the Coast.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently this Star Frontiers, let me just read this out. It further states the public may mistakenly believe Wizards of the Coast endorses Star Frontiers' reprehensible content, which would do irreparable harm to the company's recent efforts to foster a more inclusive environment around its products.
I mean, that's saying something.
This whole thing is going back a couple of years now. But yeah, so apparently this company came out, and I remember seeing something on Twitter where it was, the typical sort of privileged white person argument of...
You say it's going back, like, a couple of years. They only filed for the injunction last year.
Yes, it's probably not as far back as I thought.
Yeah, because I'm just reading up on it now, and now that you've mentioned it, and apparently it was because the new version of Star Frontiers contained blatantly racist and transphobic and reprehensible content. And Wizards were like, you know what? Even we have a line that crosses it. So that was only last year that they filed for that injunction.
Well, I think we can safely say that Wizards of the Coast have won that one.
I would say so. Have you seen the payment? That is...
No, I haven't. I've just seen that TSR has filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy.
That would be because there is a payment owed to Lanassa when he acted as dubious legal counsel for the publisher, currently total to $384,941.99. Wow.
It's funny because they're not very nice people.
Yeah. But I mean, how fucked up has your game got to be that the current, like, villains of this space are like, guys, really? Really? Like, how bad do you have to be?
Well, I think probably it does help that the Wizards of the Coast had objections before any of this happened.
True.
And then they became villains for very other reasons.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but they were still like, guys, no.
Yeah, we may be money grabbing fuckers, but
even we have a line.
Even we have a line.
So there you go, folks.
Yeah, I do remember it because it was during a time when there was a massive, internet uproar because Wizards of the Coast were actually making positive changes to their IP.
And then they didn't.
I thought they did. I thought they...
No, I meant, and then they didn't make so positive things.
Oh, yeah. Then they made some not so positive changes.
Yeah, in a legal area rather than an inclusive area.
Credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
They have kept the inclusivity thing.
Yeah.
So
you
fair play to them and all that.
And I'm gonna immortalize this episode because that's twice you've said nice things about Wizards. Ah.
Yeah, don't get used to it.
I won't, but I'm gonna cherish this one.
So, I mean, speaking of, I think it is tangential. Oh, actually, no. There is something Wizards related, and it is in regards to something that you brought up last week.
What did I bring up last week?
And I love this because this is close to my heart. Do you remember what you were saying that a collector has offered $1 million?
Yes, for the serialized The One Ring card.
Listen to this. Spanish hobby shop Trump's Bounty for Magic the Gathering serialized The One Ring card offers €2 million.
How much?
Wait, and that's not all. Offers €2 million and a paella.
And I'm tempted to go buy some Magic cards.
I mean, it's got to be a good paella, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, any of the, like, it's gonna taste good no matter what because you've got £2 million in your bank account.
I don't know. Have you ever had a bad one? I have.
Not really, because
Yeah, I've had a shit one.
yeah,
and
the only time I've had them was my dad making them or my ex, who was also Spanish. So
yeah, I make a good one. I'll make you one day.
I will look forward to that. We'll put it on the list.
We'll add it to the list.
Which is
Maybe one gaming night. I'll just bring my paella pan.
I can't spell. Leave me alone.
Are you trying to write down paella or something?
I'll put it on the list. So for those of you out there who are new,
Yep.
we have a list of things we're going to play. Now, up until now, it's been kind of a metaphorical list where it's existed in the ether. But with this new back end that we've got for structuring everything, John's actually created the list. So I've put it on the list.
And I just need to add, I have capitalized the.
Yeah, yes.
So
it's the list.
The list.
As opposed to the
to-
watch list or the other lists we have.
Yeah. Yeah. I still need to add things to it because I haven't quite got around to that.
Well,
but
the most important thing is on there now. You've promised me
Yeah, the
one.
paella is on
It's
there.
on there,
That is
and
true.
it's been promised, and I'm going to have it.
we're going to use this, but we're going to use this list as a weapon against each other. now.
Oh, yes.
I look forward to it.
But
All
yeah.
right, so
awesome.
Tales of the Valiant.
Yes, that Kickstarter's got to be
Project.
ending soon, surely.
It's ending on the 23rd of June.
Ooh. 4 days.
So, yeah, 4 days. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if you can kickstart it, by all means go for it. I don't think they quite need it, to be fair, considering that they hit target in 27 minutes.
A whole 27 minutes? Wow.
A whole 27 minutes.
Slow
and
start.
They hit target.
Slow start.
So I think I saw something. They were like 900% over target or something.
Is that all?
like that. Yeah. So they've been bringing out sort of stretch goals and this
Yeah,
that,
of
and the
course.
other. But yeah, another thing that is it can't be long now is the Abomination Vaults.
Yes, the Hacksash ARPG.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up the Kickstarter now.
Ooh.
They are currently 90% funded,
Ooh,
so
interesting.
so not long left on that. I'm looking forward to it. But there is another. Did we mention it last episode or not? I can't remember.
Maybe.
There is another Paizo property video game coming out.
I don't think we did mention it.
Right. Well, this is called Gallospire Survivors. Right, and you are gonna have to help me out here because you're out the two of us. You're the video game.
This is true.
person.
Yes, yeah.
It describes it as a roguelite bullet hell survivor.
Oh, okay.
That to me sounds like a bunch of words.
It is a bunch of words, but they're wonderful words. So basically, what that's going to be is something that our good friend Couch is going to love, because that's his wheelhouse. He loves a bullet hell game. I personally love a roguelite, so I'm going to play it for that reason. I struggle with bullet hell, but I can play them. But it's going to be really good from the sounds of that, because basically it's, you know those games where there's just loads of things flying around on the screen, and if one of them
Yeah.
touches you, you die?
Okay.
That's a bullet hell.
Right.
And
okay.
roguelite are they're like those RPG games where it's not like set maps, it's all like procedurally generated every time, and you kind of everything's kind of randomized, and it's very it's not like action RPG, but it's not like turn-based RPG. It's really hard to explain. But they're a lot of fun, and I love them because there's a lot of like progression over time. So you'll go back and you'll rerun the same level over and over again until you get strong enough from playing it to clear it, and then you'll move on to the next one.
Okay.
So they're a lot of fun. And and that combined with the bullet hell should be really, really fun. So that'll be one that I'll actually be probably playing when it comes out.
Yeah, I think you can. I don't think this is a Kickstarter. I think you can already kind of add it to your Steam wishlist.
Oh, interesting.
So if you're looking for it, it is called Gallowspire Survivors.
Cheeky little look. See if it is on Steam already. Shall we? Oh, don't start with hiccups now. That's not what we want.
And there is actually more tabletop RPG related video game news. Baldur's Gate 3 has got a release date.
Okay.
Have you ever played any of them?
No.
No, me neither. But apparently, from what I've been told, the Kingmaker Pathfinder video game is heavily sort of inspired by Baldur's Gate. So I don't know, but apparently it is due out in August 2023.
Interesting. I will probably be giving that a try. Well, definitely a look. And yes, Pathfinder Gallowspire Survivors is available on Steam to be added to your wishlist. I have just added it to mine.
Yeah, I've already added it to mine.
But yeah, no, the Baldur's Gate games, they're kind of legendary in the RPG video gaming sphere. But I am one of these people that I tend not to play the legendary games, not for any other reason than for people's reactions when I tell them I haven't played them. So like I've never played Skyrim, just so that when people go, "You haven't played Skyrim?" I love those moments.
Yeah, I mean, I have that with movies.
Yeah.
Certain movies are a point now where I'm not going to play them because I'm not going to play. I'm not going to watch them because, I've kind of cemented that.
Yeah. It's part of who you are now.
Exactly.
You're the guy who hasn't seen that film.
Exactly. Yeah. The Green Mile being one of them.
I had seen that.
See, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen Shawshank.
See, Shawshank I like. Green Mile, it's a good film, but I don't think it deserves the hype it gets.
Really?
My controversial opinion on that, it's a good film. I just think it's overhyped.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way about Gladiator.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I think Gladiator was, like, for when it came out, it was an amazing film. Yeah. But it's one of those films that once you've seen it, it's like, okay. There's no, like, rewatchability for it.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, like, I'm not saying it's a bad film or anything, or anything like that. However, I do play that up from time to time, especially when I get the Gladiator's the best film ever. I'll just turn around and kind of go, I thought it was shit.
Yeah. Well, you got to take the devil's advocate stance on the odd occasion.
Exactly, and if it winds people up,
10 points.
You just get that sort of sharp inhale of air. Yeah, I just thought it was wank. I thought it was a load of shite. And you just see people hate you a tiny bit.
It's amazing.
It is right. But yeah, I don't have any more video game news, though, unfortunately.
That's all right.
But we were keeping an eye out on Modiphius Entertainment.
Yes.
Okay, so they haven't really... I mean, the last thing we talked about was the Dreams and Machines audios that they'd put out.
Yes.
Which, I started listening to one. I still need to listen to all 5 of them, but I will be doing, just because it gives you like a good introduction into the world that they're trying to produce. But apparently Modiphius themselves have acquired... Let me just bring that up. They have acquired 5 parsecs from home, 5 leagues from the borderlands. All right. So I've not played any of these, But yeah, apparently they've acquired 5 parsecs from home and 5 leagues from the Borderlands game IPs. So yeah, I mean, Modifius puts out a lot of licensed stuff.
Yes.
So
Just having a little look at those. Okay, so 5 parsecs from home is a solo adventure war game.
Right.
Where you assemble a ragtag crew of galactic trailblazers and head out to explore the stars. That sounds really good, actually. It's playable with any miniatures you have on hand. It requires only a small number to get started. So yeah, it's basically just you need a few 6-sided dice and a couple of 10-sided for 5 parsecs from home. And the core rulebook is 184 pages. And that gives you pretty much everything you need. And it's like £28. With a 7-stage narrative solo campaign.
Okay, so it's basically like Warhammer with a story.
Yeah. Although in space. Whereas 5 Leagues from the Borderlands is actually more Warhammer with a story.
Right, I get it.
Because that one I was also having a quick read through. It's an RPG light adventure war game that lets you engage in procedurally generated fantasy campaigns featuring skirmish miniatures battles where you hunt down your foes, sneak into enemy camps. So yeah, that one's a bit more fantasy. Yeah. So very similar sort of concepts, but one's in space and one's fantasy. The fantasy one, a little bit more expensive. It's £35.
Yeah.
But looks pretty good because you can also do... Oh, okay, so this one's also co-op. So you can do co-op as well as solo. Whereas the 5 parsecs is intended to be solo. So that might be worth the extra £6 or £7.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
I mean, I kind of went off wargaming back in my 40k days. But, you know, I think if people are into that...
I think what's nice with the solo kind of thing as well is if you are just really in the mood to play something or run out a story or something, you can just sit down and do it. You know, you don't have to try and get like a bunch of people available or anything like that. You know, so it's quite nice from that sort of standpoint, I guess.
Yeah, I was just having a look at what games Modifius currently have. They've got Achtung Cthulhu.
We do love a Cthulhu game.
We do, although I played Achtung Cthulhu a few months back at the lodge. Completely misunderstood the concept of it. So we were in this adventure and it was, okay, so these are the weird things that are happening. This seems to be the cause of the weird things that are happening. And I'm coming from, you know, being a handler for Delta Green. So it's like, let's blow up the thing that's causing all these fucking problems.
Yeah.
And mine and another player's character went down in a fucking blaze of glory, blew ourselves up along with this thing, and then we were told that we failed the mission.
See, but here's the question though, right? Did you still have fun with it?
I had so much
fun. To me, that's the sign of a good system. If you can get it wrong and still have fun, that's a good game.
Oh, yeah, we were getting attacked by weird fucking Nazis, a cloud that I'm sure would have turned us inside out.
As opposed to normal Nazis.
Yeah, you know, the bad kind.
Wow! Well, this has been fun, guys.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted. No, I don't know if they were undead or not, but it was just they were Nazis and we were killing them. So
that's normally a good idea. Yeah, in most gaming scenarios, you want to kill the Nazis.
Yeah, so we were killing them, and I think all of the party had kind of retreated, and it was just myself and another player. And it was like, should we just do this?
Should we just blow up?
And we blew the fucker up. And then the handler kind of went, no, in Cthulhu you've got to kind of investigate these things. It's like, well, that doesn't make sense.
Like, but now it's easy to investigate because dead.
Exactly.
Like, how often do you see scientists studying the life thing? No, they study the body first, then they study the life thing.
It kind of reminds me of the first time I actually ran Delta Green for a couple of my players who were used to Pathfinder.
Yeah.
They basically pulled this creature and they were trying to restrain it. And it's like, creature breaks free. Creature slashes the fuck out of you and you die. It was so funny. And they're going, okay, I'm going to try restrain it. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just run! Run away!
Kill it!
Oh.
Get something that goes bang.
That's so true.
But yeah.
Oh, my
So they've also got Mutant Chronicles.
Ooh.
Third edition of the popular post-apocalyptic RPG Mutant Chronicles. They acquired the license for Fallout.
Okay.
So they're doing an RPG based on that. What else have they got? The company released Thunderbirds, a cooperative board game based on, Thunderbirds.
Is it go?
No.
You would have been disappointed if I didn't.
I would have been. The company announced a license. This is in 2015. They announced a licensing deal for Conan the Barbarian.
Ooh.
They've got Star Trek.
Nice.
They've produced a board game based on Kung Fu Panda. John Carter RPG. Company released a promotional miniature of the Dragonborn form from Elder Scrolls Skyrim that we were talking about the other day. So yeah, they've got quite a load of shit.
Yeah.
I genuinely, that was the Wikipedia I was reading.
Yeah.
So, I was certain they had more.
I mean, they might have sold some.
They might have done, and it's hard on their website because I think they are like the UK's retailers for Free League. So a lot of the Free League shit's on here as well, and it's hard to tell whose is whose.
Yeah, and I guess also like they kind of want to keep their website with the latest and greatest, right?
I don't know, if you go to role playing on the website like Sci-Fi, they've got, I think, yeah, because I think June is Free League. So yeah, I mean, I think they're just the retailers for Free League in the UK.
Yeah.
So they've got a load of their shit, but they've got their own stuff as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I definitely need to start investing more in Modifius, but because they mostly do license shit, I don't.
Yeah, I think the thing with license stuff is unless you're like a fan of the franchise, there's not really much draw to try the system,
Yeah, and I think we discussed it previously. I have an issue with if I am a fan of the franchise, it's like, well, the best stories have already been told, so why the fuck am I going to try?
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of struggle with that. But yeah, good on them. They're spending money.
They're making moves.
Making moves. Okay, so speaking of new shit coming out, Vampire the Masquerade is a new source book coming out.
Interesting.
Yeah, is it though? I struggle with Vampire.
I just like vampires in general. I blame Blade.
I was a little so, you would have thought I'd be all over them vampires, but I don't know. I think there's something. It's just weird, and I'm gonna harken back to something fucking hilarious I saw on Reddit once. Someone, and this does not reflect my own opinion, but I thought it was fucking funny. They were discussing Vampire the Masquerade, and someone put, if I wanted to play a sexual predator, I'd play FIFA.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was just one of the funniest things I've ever read.
That's funny though.
It is funny though.
Although actually, looking at it, it seems to be more romance stuff than actual being vampires.
I think this source book, Bloodstained Love, does seem to kind of...
Twilight.
Yeah.
It's Twilight, the RPG.
I mean, the whole premise of the Masquerade is quite an interesting one, because you do delve into sort of the politics of the different groups. You know, when you create your character, you basically give them a clan.
Yeah.
And, you know, your clan has certain tenets that they kind of act under. And, you know, if you've got a group of vampires that are all from different clans, it does kind of play into the dynamic. So I think it is an interesting concept. It's hard to... I just find it hard to gain interest.
Yeah.
I mean, out of the World of Darkness books, the Hunter, the Reckoning, I think it is, that's the one that interests me.
Yeah, I get that. I think vampires in recent years as well, a lot of people have kind of had a sour taste in their mouth because of the Twilight series. Let's be honest. A lot of people did not take the Twilight series well. And some people took it a little too well.
Almost obsessively well.
I don't know what you're talking about. We definitely don't know anybody that was like that. There's several people around Southend.
I mean, I'm not interested in Twilight, but I don't have that sort of repulsion to it either.
See, my big issue with it was the going in sunlight thing I don't mind, right? Because there's other versions of vampires where they can go in sunlight. It just like it hurts them, or they're weaker, or it's just like they have like sunlight sensitivity, right? Like most creatures from the Underdark in 5e have, right? They have that sunlight sensitivity where normal daylight hurts them, right?
Yeah.
But they fucking sparkled.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, I don't get it.
That was really weird. I will give you that.
So they have to live in like places that are just really overcast all the time, so that nobody sees that their skin sparkles. Like, you are immortal beings, but you have to live in shitty weather because you don't want people to know you sparkle. What?
Yeah, it was. You know, what was her name? Stephanie Meyer?
Something like that. Something like that.
Yeah, she made some weird choices.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, she made some... You know, it was almost like a teenager writing fiction.
Right? Or writing fiction for teenagers.
I think a bit of both. I think she was a teenager.
I think there's a little bit of both, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't have that sort of repulsion to them. Because, I mean, my vampires have always been the Anne Rice Chronicles.
I see, mine was Blade. I grew up on Blade.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I can see that.
I love Blade.
Yeah, but I devoured the Anne Rice books.
That's fair.
I thought they were outstanding. And I realised, like, a couple of years after her death, I just looked up her biography, and there was like 3 books that she released after she said she'd done with them that I have not read.
I finished with these, but here's 3 more.
So they are now on my own personal list.
Why does that sound like us on a night out there? Like, no, I'm done. No more drinks tonight after these shots.
Yeah, those are the days I don't remember. All right, I'm just going to have this one and I'm going home. But to be fair, we have a friend in common who was quite a bad influence in that respect.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'd go, okay, yeah, there's another pint. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Here's a couple more, guys. It's fine. It's fine.
It's all right. Have another one.
Okay.
So, yes.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, but yeah, vampires, I think, it's always going to be one of those things that's going to be really contended amongst people about which vampires were the best.
Yeah, and because of the lore, not just in vampires the way we know them, but in like Eastern European folklore and
there's so many
Chinese folklore. There's so many iterations.
There's so many of those things where it's a bit like some of the arguments you get with like what constitutes a dragon, or is that a worm? Like, you know, like those kind of arguments.
Yeah.
Like, oh, or is that just a dragon whelp? Like, no, like there's actually like people have gone through and like, this is a dragon. This is not a dragon. A dragon has these criteria. And it's always going to be like, you're going to have that, right? With anything that has lore that goes that deep.
Oh, yeah, of course. And people get so fucking passionate about it that I can't help but just...
take the piss and go, no, yeah. I don't agree.
Yeah, just, you know, just in anything I can say that's going to infuriate them.
You're going to say it. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't necessarily believe it, but I'm going to fucking say it anyway.
You got to.
Just because I like how people react over dumb shit.
So I once saw, I think it was on like Reddit or something, where some guy had like, he made like, this, if you were to copy this into Word, it would be like a 4-page rant about how the dragon from Dragon Ball Z is not a dragon. because of what I mentioned a minute ago about how people have like laid out the criteria for what is a dragon. And a dragon is supposed to have like 4 legs and separate wings, and Shenron doesn't have that, so he's not a dragon, so the show is named wrong. It's like, dude, shut up.
But I want to know what he actually classified Shenron as.
Oh, hang on. Let me just pull up, if I pull up the classifications of dragon.
Please do.
I can tell you.
I can see we're going to spend half an hour on this.
Absolutely, we're going to.
I am so fucking down for that.
There's a chart. I'm not kidding you. There is a chart for what the different types of dragon are.
Ah, God, I feel like I need this in my life.
So, according to him, Shenron would be... no, that's a terrible picture. Let me find the... Where is that the chart? No, because that doesn't have the names. Ah, this is the one. This is on Pinterest, but it does the trick. Shenron would not be a dragon. He would be a... Which one is it? That one? A Yinglong is what Shenron would be.
Okay.
Not a dragon.
Right. Not a
dragon. Because a dragon...
Right.
According to the rules of what makes a dragon, in air quotes, because again, no one who gives a shit, let's be honest. A dragon is, you know, like in... Did you ever watch the film Dragonheart?
Oh, shit. I think I may have.
That's a dragon. 4 legs, separate wings, kind of squashed like a horse, but you know what I mean? Like, that's that standard dragon that you would see in, like, TV and film, right?
Yeah.
That's a dragon. If it doesn't have wings, that's a drake.
Okay.
If it only has back legs and the front legs are also the wings, that's a wyvern.
Okay, so far I'm kind of on board.
If it looks like a dragon, but the wings are like butterfly wings, that's a fae, not a dragon.
Right.
If it's a drake with multiple heads, it's now a hydra.
Right. Okay, we all know what a hydra is, right?
The list gets weird. I'll send you the chart.
I need this chart in my life. I do. I genuinely do need this.
But yeah, there's a whole, like...
There's Cotils.
Yeah.
Well, and the poster that I'm seeing, types of dragon, the one that most resembles Shenron is basically Asian dragon.
Yeah.
So they haven't really...
yours hasn't gone as deep with the naming of the dragons.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that chart.
I'll send you a copy.
Oh, please do.
That's what we should get done as merch. That, just on a t-shirt.
So what did you say? It would be a Shin Long?
A Ying Long.
Yin Long. So Yin Long Ball Z. Actually, it doesn't sound too bad.
It doesn't sound bad. But at the same token, who cares?
Yeah, but I mean, the chart that you've got, is there a title on it?
No.
No. So there's no title that says types of dragon.
There is another chart that has types of dragon. That might be the one you were looking at, because that's the one that has Asian dragon.
Yeah, so that kind of defeats the point where it kind of goes, oh, it's not a dragon. Well, it is.
Yeah, it's a type of dragon. Yeah. But that goes to that thing, though, of, like, can you use the word in the definition, right? Because how can you have types of dragon where one of the types of dragon is dragon?
Yeah, it's...
That's like saying one of the types of lion is lion. Like... I
feel like you need to post me. I'll send
you the image.
I want to read the whole fucking thing.
I'll send it to you over on. I'll send it to you here. Let's see.
I'm seeing a dragon size chart by someone on DeviantArt.
Yes, yeah, that exists. That's the thing. Here you go.
I do have a certain level of respect for these people who go so fucking in depth in fictional stuff. It's like the people who fucking like know, I don't know, registration plates from Star Wars vehicles and shit like that. It's like, fair play to you. It's a waste of time, but what a fucking glorious waste of time that is.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
That is, I don't think I've ever been so passionate about anything in my life.
No. Oh no, I'll tell a lie. I think I used to be very passionate about World of Warcraft back in the day, like when it first came out. I used to like write guides and stuff on how to play like certain classes and things like that. So I was very passionate about that back then. The funniest thing that happened with that was I once had a 2-hour argument with the guy on Ventrilo back when that was a thing. Because he was arguing with me about saying that I misunderstood this guide on how to play the class that I was playing. And he was arguing with me for 2 hours before somebody pointed out that he was arguing with the person that wrote the guide on what the guide said. That was fun. Yeah, he was basically saying like, oh, you just don't understand. Like, you don't know what this guy means. And then after 2 hours, like one of my friends joined the call and was like, you do realize he wrote that, right? And then the guy very sheepishly quit.
He
literally just disconnected from the call and was like, everyone was in hysterics. It was really funny.
Now, that is funny when that happens.
Oh, it was great.
There's like, I think there was a Reddit post on Twitter where people would post shit like that, where, you know, they'd be told,
like, they overhear somebody talking about like something they wrote and like, well, I think I can clear that up for you.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, fair enough.
It's like, okay.
Like, there was this guy who got told he didn't understand a programming language, and he's the person who
invented the programming language. Yeah. Oh, I love things like that, man. They're the best.
I mean, if it weren't for the internet, we wouldn't get shit like that.
No, it's true. We wouldn't.
I think it's fantastic. So, shall we head on over to Couch's Corner?
I think we should, because he told me he sent in another great question, but once again would not tell me what it was, because he knows you don't tell me.
Yep, I don't tell you. Let me just...
I believe we also have another question as well.
We do indeed, as soon as
I got told by somebody else that they put in a question.
See, that's it. I wish they wouldn't...
No, but they didn't tell me what it was.
Ah, okay.
Neither of them would, because they I was with both of them and they were like, "Oh, we both put questions in." I was like, "What is it?" And they both went, "No."
Right. So because I have just imported everything from Google Forms, I need to actually find the right fucking, because they've all imported and they've got the same fucking timestamp on them.
Yeah.
So bear with me a second. Worst case scenario, just boot up Google Forms again. So there's no point going by newest. Okay, so we'll go first with Chris.
Yes.
Who is contacting us from the exact opposite of where you think I am.
That's that bit he did tell me. He told me he put that, yeah.
Enough.
Which I thought was very good.
I thought it was quite good, yeah. So his question is, what homebrew rules have you included in your games, or what homebrew rules would you like to include?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I think the standard rule that we've always kind of included is the rule of cool, right? Because that is essentially a homebrew rule. Because anything can essentially then become a homebrew rule. Wow, this is the not speaking properly thing happening all over again.
I struggle with homebrew. Don't worry about it.
Because if you are rule of calling something, you are sometimes breaking the rules and making a new rule, right, to incorporate how that would then work. So I think that's one that I've always had and always played with. So I'd say that's definitely one that I like to have included and around a table. As for like an actual homebrew rule, that's a tough one. I'm going to have a little think.
Right, okay. Well, for me, one that I've currently... Well, I started including it when I started running Skulls and Shackles, and it was directly inspired by by the Glass Cannon podcast, and that was the bottle caps.
Yes, I remember that.
So basically, if you did something cool, if you did something, whether it was in-game, whether it was a metagame reason, if you made the entire fucking table laugh at something, you got yourself a bottle cap. And that would essentially be, you'd roll with advantage.
Yes.
Or in Pathfinder terms, you'd roll with fortune,
yes.
I think they call it. Which, it was quite popular at my tables.
Yeah.
But then obviously we went to Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and they've already kind of included a similar thing, which is codified into the rule, and it's hero points. Now, I have made no secret in that hero points are the element of Pathfinder 2nd Edition which I like the least. I think the way that they're implemented is clunky as fuck. So essentially, you start every session with a hero point.
Yep.
You can gain additional hero points during the course of the game. However, it says, and we recommend you hand out a hero point per hour. Well, I'm not being funny, but not every table has something interesting happening
every hour,
every single fucking hour.
Yeah, because you could have an entire hour where people are just chatting shit about the fucking bar fight they had last night.
Yeah, so there's no... and it's when I play society games where you have to kind of enforce a rule. Every hour, I'll just kind of go, right, who wants a fucking hero point?
Yeah.
Unless something good and cool actually happens, then that's another story entirely. But it's kind of rewarding people unnecessarily.
Oh, actually.
So the way I do hero points now in my games, my homebrew games, is that you'll get a hero point at the start of every session. If somebody can accurately recap what happened in the previous session.
Oh, see. everybody
gets a second hero point.
Oh, okay, cool. Because that is exactly what I was going to talk about, and I'm kind of glad you said it the way you said it. I've played in games where they've done something similar at the start of a session, but they only give it to the person who does the recap. And I hate that because it only rewards the note takers.
No, I give it to everybody because
I like that.
That benefits me as well because I don't have to kind of be forced to hand out a hero point every fucking hour. Even if during the course of that session nothing interesting happens and nobody gets a hero point, they're still up anyway because they've all had an extra one. So I can just forget about that for the rest of the session. What I have started doing is that any hero points that I award for anything cool, I will still call bottle caps. And whereas your regular hero points, they disappear at the end of the session.
Bottle caps remain.
Bottle caps remain. Yeah. Bottle caps are a bit more special.
Yeah.
So I've started doing that, and I think it has improved the hero point mechanic quite substantially.
I can see that. Yeah, because I was actually that's what I was going to say, and that was my moment while you were talking. Was I've played in a campaign recently where. After at the start of a session, they would ask who wants to recap, and if you recapped, they would give you an inspiration, which is you can basically add, I think it's like a D8 or something to any roll that session, right? But he would only give it to the person that recapped, and in the group there were only 2 people who took notes, so they got it every session.
Yeah, I like giving it to the entire table because there's more at stake.
Yeah, exactly.
If you try and recap and you fail and shit, I just didn't get inspiration. But when everybody at the table is counting on you,
it makes it a little bit more high pressure. I like that. Yeah. So that tweaks it for me, and I would use that rule. So that would be mine then. I would use that variation of it because giving everyone a reward, I think, is just better, because otherwise you're just rewarding the note takers.
I did see something. This was on a Mastodon post about a cool mechanic which I will be implementing at some point once I figure out how. And the mechanic is this: whenever there is a countdown, right, whether that being to a character's death, whether that be, I don't know, a countdown until a building collapses, something like that. They came up with this mechanic which I thought was fucking fantastic, where you take a pool of D6 and you roll them. Every 6 that is rolled, you remove that dice.
Oh, when there's 0 dice left, the time's up.
So every turn, you are rolling the remaining dice.
Oh.
Once the dice are gone, time's up.
Yeah, I like that.
I thought that was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. Because then you don't sit there going, it's 10 rounds. Or, it gives you a bit more of a randomized time frame.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And in Pathfinder 2nd edition, the dying rules are very codified. You've got dying 1, 2, 3, and 4. Kind of similar to like 5e's death saves sort of thing.
I'm not a fan of those.
And it's a bit late now because my games are already underway. But to basically replace that to, so you're what, 7th level? Right.
76. Yeah.
Every D6 gets removed. You may last 10 rounds. You may last 2 rounds.
May last 1.
You may last 1.
Yeah, if you just straight up roll 7 6s, that's it. GG's.
Which, I think it's a really cool mechanic.
I do, yeah. That's really, really cool. And likewise, you could go an hour without rolling a single 6, right?
Yeah, exactly. It adds an element
really
of
does.
chance.
I like that.
And it's also an element of avoiding metagaming.
Well, See, that's avoiding metagaming is something that I've tried to combat in games in the past. And the best way I found to do that with the death saves in 5e is the DM rolls them for the player. So even the player doesn't know how close they are to death, right? Because one of the things that we quite often will have in 5e is, let's say you've made 2 death saves, right? So you've got two successes, no failures. Everyone knows that. So they're sitting there going, well, we don't need to get him up this round. We can just leave him for another round and try and finish this fight. Because even if he fails, at most he's going to critically fail and have 2, and then we can just get him up next round, right?
Yeah.
If he doesn't critically fail, or if he succeeds, he's up. If he fails once, we've still got another 2 failures before he's dead. We've got extra rounds, right? But if you take away that knowledge, they have to act. Or they have to not act and deal with those consequences.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's a bit harder to do in 2nd edition. But I'll think of something.
Well, I like what you said, though, about using your 7th level 7 dice.
Yeah, I think it would work pretty well. Again, I think it's a bit too late to implement it in my
what you could even do
games
for that as well, just to kind of grow on it a little bit, is use the character's hit die. So instead of just rolling d6s, if it's like a barbarian, use d12s, right? Because they're a hardier character.
Yeah, I get it.
Or maybe not going all the way up to d12s, but like, you know what I mean, like using d10s or like just going up a couple of dice for those hardier characters, because they are meant to be hardier, right? So they should be able to take a beating and get back up again, or just something like that, just to make it a bit more, you know, so the wizard isn't tanking as much damage as the fucking barbarian is. Because the wizard's just getting super lucky with those death rolls.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are interesting mechanics to add, and they will create that added element of tension. Yes. Which, you know, I think sometimes, especially when characters are dying, seems to be lacking. Yeah.
I think maybe that's something we can maybe talk about in a future episode, is ways to make to add some tension to see like scenarios that are happening that are not common but also can be quite common, like a character being downed, right? That's not overly common depending on how you DM. For some of us, it's a lot more common, John. But you know, finding ways to add tension to those where normally there might not be, because like the roles are in the open and people can kind of strategize around them even if they don't mean to, because, you know, it's not something you're going to maybe naturally think about consciously of, well, I don't need to go and save him because he's got so many death saves left. I can carry on just hitting this guy for another couple of rounds. You might just be thinking that subconsciously, and it you know, bleeds out. Whereas if you don't know, or if there is that chance, right, that they could just be gone, it kind of, it's just going to pile on that pressure to make a decision one way or the other. Yeah. And then just live with those consequences.
Yeah, I think that's. I think it is an important discussion to have at some point, to just kind of go, right, we need to kind of up the tension for this. I mean, I've already kind of committed to doing that in my games, where, because players have that meta knowledge of, oh, he's on dying 2 or he's on dying 3, I'm going to stop using the player down, creature moves on rule. Yeah. And just player down, creature's going to carry on.
Creature has advantage now.
Creature's going to carry on. He's going to carry on attacking unless you do something.
Yeah, unless you are no longer breathing and you are dead, it won't keep swinging.
So, yeah, I'm definitely going to start doing that in my games, because, you know, as a carryover from 1st edition, where it was decidedly easier to kill a character, In second edition, it's pretty hard. It's not an easy thing to do, which in of itself does kind of increase the tension of the game anyway, because it's like, yeah, I'm on dying 3 and I've gone back to unconscious, but then I've been hit by an area of effect, so it is very swingy. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go into the creature downs you and it's got 2 actions left.
It's gonna keep going.
It's gonna try and kill you.
Because I think that's also something that maybe as DMs we do sometimes like forget is we're still playing these creatures like a player controlling them to have fun. We don't always treat them like a creature with their own consciousness, right? And their own decision-making process. Because let's be honest, if it is a horde of goblins, they're not just going to knock you unconscious and then leave you there. They're going to kill you. Like, that is their sole goal.
Yeah, unless they've got something more pressing.
Exactly, yeah.
If they drop somebody, but they've got the paladin right next to them attacking
then it gives them something.
They're going to defend
themselves. It gives them that thing to take their... Okay, that one's subdued for now. I can focus on this one.
Yeah, but whereas, you know, one goblin versus one character, he drops, oh, I'm going to move over to this next person and attack them.
Like, why?
Like, no,
I'm going to end this one, because at least then we can eat him later.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I like that.
So, my players, beware.
You have been warned.
You have been warned, and if you don't listen to this podcast...
Oh, you're going to do this to one of them, and be like, well, you didn't tell us. And you're just going to send them the link to this episode.
Oh, exactly. I'm gonna send them the timestamp.
I told you 3 months ago.
Not my fault. You do not pay attention.
Brilliant.
I think I've literally got like 3 of my players who listen. So, if they miss it, it's on.
That question came from my DM, so I need to behave.
I know it came from your DM. All right, so let us go to...
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
All right, this week it's from Couch of the Gaseous Ice Giants. The 7th planet from the sun, in brackets, work it out. I'm not going to work it out, Couch. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to Google it.
You really couldn't guess.
I mean, it is Couch, so I'm going to guess Uranus.
That would be a solid guess.
That would be... Oh, it's right.
It is. Oh, see, I already know that because there's a watch I want that is branded with that planet. But yeah, we'll get into that another time.
Oh, yes. Please, let's get into Uranus another time.
Oh, see, that's why I want the watch. But anyway, what is Couch's question?
Okay. So, as it is mentioned a hell of a lot when you spend money on a system, not Pathfinder 2nd Edition or D&D, as I know your stance is, do you feel like you need to push through with playing it more to make it worthwhile, or would you drop it after feeling it didn't live up to your expectations? This is something I find more typically with board video games, but rulebooks aren't cheap, so same sort of feeling?
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, personally, I'm a lot more like that with video games, which obviously he did mention there, where I have got many games on my Steam library where I forked out for them, played them once and never touched them again, because I didn't get on with them. As for mechanics, the only books on my shelf are 5e and Pathfinder. I don't own any other systems. So I can't really comment on those. I have got a crap ton of board games in my cupboard, though, that I never play. But that is mainly because of time and people to play them with.
Yeah, I get that.
Because also a lot of the games I've got have like 3 hours of setup for like an hour of play, right? So they're fun, but it's just sometimes not worth the setup. Because you've got to lay out like specific map tiles, and you've got to get specific card decks prepared, and like there's a lot of setup for a very short play window. Especially when I misunderstand a ruling and lose because of it. But we won't get into that because that's something that happened with me, Couch, and Chris.
I'll be asking.
Oh, I'll give you the short version. I was playing the traitor, and I thought I had to stop them getting to a certain point in a room, but the card just said they had to get into the room. So I kind of set up a blockage path, but they stepped into the room to get to my blockage path, which means they won.
I feel I've heard that story.
Yeah, you probably
before.
have. I was very upset.
Yeah, I've definitely heard that story.
Yeah,
before.
it caused a massive argument until I reread the card. I was like, fuck, they're right.
Well, I mean, unlike you, I
Many
have
systems.
many fucking systems. Just imagine me as a crack addict and Humble Bundle is my fucking dealer. Because every time there's a new fucking Humble Bundle out, it's like, yeah, 20 quid for this many books.
It'd be rude not to.
Go. So I've got fucking Symbaroum, I've got Tales from the Loop, I've got a lot of the, like, Vessen. I can't remember the amount of shit I've got. And some of these books I haven't even opened. I say open, they are all PDFs. Yeah. But again, my PDF library is fucking huge. And sometimes somebody will mention a system and I kind of go, wait a minute, I've got that book. And, and yet there is that sort of impulse of I want to play this. But a lot of it is trying to sell it to players.
Yeah.
I kind of struggle with, especially if I'm not very familiar with the system itself. So, I mean, one game I do want to run is Tales from the Loop. Mm-hmm. I just think it's a fun sort of quirky, nostalgic piece that I think is going to be really, really fun and interesting to play. But then again, I've got other games which kind of are taking priority. Because once my homebrew finishes, then we're going to delve into Impossible Landscapes, which is the Delta Green campaign, whilst I prepare my Cypher homebrew. So all the games we kind of tinker around with are either Cypher or Delta Green.
Yeah.
But on occasion where we have those days where maybe 3 people turn up and what I have planned isn't really going to scale all that well, that's when I'll kind of break out another game and just kind of go, right, let's have a look at this, see what this is like. That's how we did Hope Finder, which was fantastic. And so I'm thinking, one of the things I was thinking at one point was maybe once a month or once every couple of weeks, just do a game where it's like, okay, this week we are playing Vessen, or this week we are playing Symbaroum, and just kind of start getting a lot of these out of my system.
Yeah.
And just
clearing your list, so to speak.
Clearing my list, so to speak. And also learning at the same time the players do. That's what we've been doing with the Cypher system by playing Numenera. We've fumbled through it. I picked up the book roughly at the same time as the players did and kind of went, all right, let's just start. Yeah. There's an intro scenario, let's go through it. And every now and again, it'll be a case of, right, we need to stop. I need to look this up.
Yeah.
And figure out the rule. Okay, so this is how this works. And then you kind of learn at the same time. So I'm interested in trying that, but I've got so many things I'm wanting to do at the same time that I just don't see when that's going to be possible. Because, with like you guys, we've talked about maybe doing a bi-weekly Delta Green game. Mm-hmm. So that's obviously going to take priority over, okay, let's break out, I don't even know what other systems I've got for reference, but yeah, it's going to take priority over Vessen, for example. So I do want to play these games. I am interested in playing them and learning them. But at the same time, if I don't get round to it, because it's PDFs, I'm not that fussed.
Yeah.
You know, I'll just pick them up when the time is right.
Yeah. I get that. That makes sense. Because I suppose, like, as long as you've kind of got that library created, right? You can kind of dip into it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Which is always nice, because if you do just need, like, you know, just need a change, or everyone's kind of burnt on the systems you've got, you can always just dip into your well of resources and go, well, we could try this one.
Yeah, exactly. You know, we've always got the choice. And then after that, then we can try something else the following week. All right, so what do you fancy this week? Do you fancy, like, some, I don't know, mystery where you play as kids in a Stranger Things sort of world? Or do you want to go, like, to gritty fantasy with Symbaroum?
Yeah, I think that's just very helpful to have. And I need to start building up a library like that.
Humble bundle, man.
Yeah, I might have to invest.
Just, you know, they come out with some phenomenal offers where you pay 20 quid and you get 300 quid's worth of books.
Yeah, because they do the same for video games, which is honestly, it's how I've built a lot of my gaming library. Is like the video game version. Where it's like, oh yeah, you know, you pay like, there used to be like a couple of sites as well where you pay like a $5 and you get like 10 random video game keys. So like so you don't even know what games you're getting. And then you just plug in those like keys onto Steam and you unlock like 10 random games, right? So that was always quite fun, because you were just kind of, you didn't know what you were getting.
Yeah, I bet that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if you've seen those adverts where like people book a holiday but they don't know where they're going, and so they like get to the airport.
Yeah, my anxiety would fucking kill me.
Same. But it was like that for video games, and I got some brilliant games from that. Like that I still occasionally will fire up now to like, you know, bust out. Like one of them I absolutely loved was Robot Roller Derby Disco Dodgeball.
Just the title alone,
right?
I want to play that.
It was amazing. Like the game is like, it's one of those games that's so terrible it's amazing, because like at its core it's very simple, which is what makes it amazing. But like it's so stupid that it's brilliant.
I love a bit of stupid.
Exactly, it was great. But yeah, so that I might have to start doing that then to kind of build out my library.
Yeah, and you know, it's always for a good cause as well, so that kind of helps with my guilt in spending the money. Yeah, no, it's going to charity, so yeah, fuck it.
But yeah, I think in terms of like powering through though, I don't think that's always necessary. Because sometimes you can just tell very early on you're not going to get on with something, right? But that being said, I have had many occasions where I've bought a new board game, I've been playing it for 2 months, and then realized I was playing it wrong. Like, dude, honestly, this used to be a common occurrence with some of the people I used to play board games with. So much so that it got to a point where we just didn't read the rules the first few times we played it, to see how close we could get without reading the rules.
I bet that would be an interesting podcast.
It would be.
That would be
how intuitive is your board game?
Huh. Okay.
So next episode.
If our listenership continues to
we
grow,
can do that. Yeah.
I think
that'll
may
be an
be
episode,
a future project.
Because, like, honestly, dude, it made it so fun. Because, like, those first few times you played the game, some of the stuff we'd come out with, and then when we'd read the rules, we'd be like, wait, how is that not a rule? It just makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. I would totally be involved.
Yeah,
with
it was a lot of fun.
All right, so that's ideas for the
Yes.
future. All right, so I think that's about all the time we've got today.
I would agree with that.
All right, so I've been John Santana.
I've been Justin.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
All right.
That's fine. No,
No, I was going to.
No, it's fine.
You just trod on my fucking toes.
Fine.
All right, so Justin, would you like to tell people where on the interwebs they can find
No,
you?
I wouldn't. I will tell them.
All
So
You bitch.
you can find me pretty much anywhere as Justin Accurate TV. I'm on most of the socials with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm on a lot of them. I won't say most of them because I'm not a social person. But I'm at Natural Juan. So you can find me on Twitter, Mastodon, Instagram, etc., etc. We have a Facebook group that you're more than welcome to join and come and, meet some of the other people who, for some reason, listen to us.
Yeah, I'm still figuring that one out.
No, me neither. But, we are growing this community and it is absolutely fantastic to see. Thank you to Chris and Couch for sending in some fantastic questions.
Yes.
Thank you to you, Justin, for spending some time with me this
You're very
evening.
welcome.
And most importantly, thank you to everyone who's taken time out of their busy day to listen to us waffle on.
About some nonsense, really.
Yeah, but if you like what you hear, don't hesitate to leave us a review, leave us a rating. That way we can grow, that way we can reach more people, and that way we can probably offend them.
And we can start making dragon t-shirts.
Yes, we want dragon t-shirts.
We
merch.
absolutely need to make those t-shirts a thing.
All right, well, that is all. Thank you very much for listening.
See you later, folks.